lovely area. Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. How y'all doing out there in YouTube world? Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. We're gonna try to talk a little bit before how the phone becomes overheated or whatever. And I apologize for the weird lighting. Oh, apologies for the weird lighting. Woo, baby. Got some green tea. Ice green tea at that. I'm telling you, if you ever feel like you need some natural energy, right? You can make your own iced tea at home, but I went out and just got it because why not? Anyway, excuse me. I gotta fix my hair. Give me 1 second. Listen, so I wasn't even gonna come on live. Okay, but they were like, girl, you need to come on live. You always be having these little bits of information and these bouts of information. So why don't you just come on live and make it just seem like you're talking to yourself? So I'm like, well, I'm the type of person who is really not an orator, but that's what I think. But I don't, you know what I'm saying? I'm more of like a writer. I be like channeling things and I write things down. So we got like a couple pieces of paper here, right? For some information that I want to talk about. Listen, because this has stemmed, okay, this video not only stemmed from an old friend that I talked to yesterday, but I've always been thinking about this stuff, and even for myself, because I applied it for myself. Like in this avenue, in this purposeful game in life, right? Very purposeful. It is you that you're looking for. It is ultimately you that you are looking for. It is you who you're looking for. Okay. So I do have a degree in social science, but I was born with this information as well. Just studying different avenues in social science just made me be more aware to other people's brainwashing. Okay. So in this reality, we have social structures, right? So our social structures are the medical field, our family is, our religion, okay? It's our education, it's prison systems, okay? It's school. These are all social structures. How people are supposed to easily fashion and snug their way up into these systems of structures that were all built and formulated for us, okay? They're already here for us. I mean, you weren't around when these structures started to be built here, in the late 17th century, early 18th century, right? When they really started building social structures to keep people in line. And yes, a lot of people need to be kept in line, okay? So we just named a few of the social structures. So we've all been through school, right? There are some people who's homeschooling, but they are still underneath the state regulation of this social structure of school. Like education is a social structure. Any form of healthcare is a social structure. Okay. Any form of religious nature is a social structure written to keep people here on a pea pad, to keep you there on all four of the corners of a pea pad, to keep us there, right? Granted, some people need to be there, and that is fine. That's why I'm not judging people for what they do. Okay. So I always have to ask myself now, what was the point for us to be creating and having these social structures? And it is for social engineering. It is to engineer agendas, plans. This is how they can traject things in life. This is how they can traject who you're going to vote for, what religion you are, what type of children you're going to have, right? This is why I say it is for social engineering, why we have social structures. Now, granted, we do need some people, right, need these social structures, okay? Because the morality or the sense of self treating each other how you want to be treated is just not there for some people. All right. That's a psychology issue. All right. So, and within all of these structures, y'all have to see, you have to know, you don't have to see, but you can see very well in every one of these social structures, you guys, there are inequalities. There's no one fashioned in the same angle, pathway in any of these structures, especially in the family, especially in the medical field, especially education. They are inequalities, right? Now, were they supposed to be there when they built these social structures? When they built these social structures, it was for the elite class. This is who they, this is who predicated these social structures, right? The dominant race, the elite class. So they could give a fuck less if someone fits in it or not. They want only the best, the fit people to fit inside of these social structures. This is why they're severely unequal across all and every board, okay? For a reason. They could care the fuck less if you fit inside of them or not. They only need a group, okay, social types of people to fit within these structures, right? So they can stay on top of the pyramid. So you can see the inequality, or you can live outside of seeing the inequality. It's really up to you. It's really no judgment, but most of the people see where there's inequalities in every fashion of social structure, even in church. You can't even go to church. Somebody's judging you how you praise, judging you what you're wearing, what time you come to church, where you show up, who you brought to church. Everyone is like, you know what I'm saying? Not equal. They're not there for the right reasons. They're there to, to submit basically to a social structure, a fashion, who written how to behave, how to be, how to see, how to perceive, right? Even in churches, religion, Catholicism, Buddhism, okay? They are all built by the mans of laws, okay? These are all social structures where there are always going to be some inequality because they want to put their best and their fittest persons to represent those social structures, okay? Does that make sense? Does that make sense, y'all? So like I was saying, this video came up because I was talking to an old friend last night. Okay. And for some reason with girls, I don't know, maybe guys be doing this too. They always, they talk about relationships the longest time. Like we talk about a lot of different things, but for some reason, like relationships has always been the most popular. Like you always want to talk about some relationships or being in a relationship or why you're in a relationship or why you're not in a relationship or what kind of relationship you're in and how long you've been in a relationship. Like the relationships is like takes up most of the majority of the conversation. And this is where you'll see some people will have competition within, as they're second guessing themselves based on their relationship. So she was like, she's in a relationship. She's been in a relationship for 4 years, but she's looking for her true love. She's looking for her true love, right? And I wrote about this before in the past about you are looking for love in all the right and wrong places, okay? In one of my blogs back in the day. So it just clicked in my mind when she was like, she looking for her true love. I'm thinking to myself, because, you can only think and express yourself based on your own experiences. I'm like, you are your one true love. It is you that you're looking for. That's not what I said. That's just what I know from within, right? Someone who's looking for their true love. I don't care how old you are, right? It's not an issue to say that, but the thing is, your true love stems from within. You are your true love, right? So the true love starts and it ends with you. It's always going to be with you. This is why I brought up the social structures earlier, right? This is why we have these multiple fashions of social structures, right? Because honestly, it is you that you're looking for in all of these social structures. Okay? Follow me for a moment. So that's why the social structure of education in schools, they have many different fields of study. Many different fields of study to see what you're good at, to see what you're like, to see what you're drawn to. Okay? Because what you're really looking for is you in all of these fields of studies, right? And religion, this is why there's so many fashions and forms of religion, because it is you that you're trying to identify with. It is you that you're looking to receive your power from. Okay, it is you that wants to express your true uniqueness from is through these spirituality and religion fashions, which are social structures, because there are some points when spirituality can be a social structure as well. Just look and open your eyes and observe. Okay, there's a certain way to even be in spirituality. Certain people have to have locks. Certain people have to, look like hippies. You know what I'm saying? And then they won't accept other people who aren't fashioned in that way. And I know this to this day, truthfully, because they think that their spirituality is the best way on how to represent their group. So if your hair is a certain type of way or you're wearing different type of clothes, they're not going to accept you. See, and this is why you're still looking for yourself, and you're always going to be searching for yourself in these structures. It is always you, okay? It's not going to be a group. It's not going to be a bodyguard. Okay, it's going to be you. So in the medical field, right, see, this is why in the medical field, they have so many different chemical compounds in their medication, right? There's not one medication formulated for all. They have several different types of medication. Okay, for you to take. Oh, you can take this Lexapro. Oh, you can't take this Metropolol, or you can't take this. They'll go through like 40 or 50, probably not that much, but you know what I'm saying. They'll go through so many different formulations to see what will work for you, right? So in family, there is so many ways. Well, not really. There's only a few, right? There are many ways to raise children to adulthood. There is not just one way. There are several ways to raise your children, okay, into adulthood, because you're not raising kids, you're raising them to be adults, all right? So the family is part of the system structure. So stay with me, right? The medical field is part of the system of structures. Prison, right? Big field of social structure as well. All right. So this is why in prison they have maximum security, gin pop, right? They have solitude confinement. Okay. There's not just a field in a prison where they're putting all the people around, okay, in one place, in one area. Everyone is socialized different in prison as well. I don't have any experience there, but I have studied some prison systems. All right. And all of these fields in society are social structures, engineered agendas. But within these engineering agendas, y'all, your spiritual guides, your ancestors, your cheerleaders, okay, this is what we talk about a lot, is always in communion with you, because they know, they see, they have the grand foresight to know that these structures are not meant to be, right? So you can either work within the structure, outside of the structure, or both. You know what I'm saying? Because either way, you're taking place in this life form out here where people are born into hospital social structure, based on your race, your religion, how much money you got. They know how to traject your life. Okay, social engineering. But see, so this is what I wrote because I don't want to mess this up. So with all the systems that bind us together for social engineering, your spirit, your ancestors, your higher self, your angels can and they will permeate through them all, because they are meant to be broken for you to discover yourself. Even though you're working in the educational system, you're taking multiple things, it's still an avenue for you to discover yourself, right? But just know that this system can only take you so far. Some plasticity is what they're saying. They can only take you so far by with the surface of these things. But within all these systems, it is you that you're looking for, right? So the one thing that I did enjoy about higher learning, and a lot of people who don't go to college or university, I don't care, none of that. But I think the most people that I know, like in my family, they think, that we go to school for higher learning to act and talk like a white man or a white girl, or to study their shit or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They just think that you're going for more programming, basically. But see, what I study and what my field is, right, and what I like the most, y'all, is going to university, was that everything that I wrote about and I talked about, that I was studied from, made so much more sense when I brought my experience into the situation. Every class, even my creative writing class, duh. Okay, we spoke, we talked, we wrote from our experiences in life. So I don't know, maybe it's just the medical field, right? They are programming people how to memorize things, right? How to memorize things, okay? But my field of study come directly from having experience, right? Yes. We learned about MMIW, right? Missing, murder, indigenous women. But yet I can still tap into that frequency of knowing. Okay. So even the higher learning, follow me, y'all. We still got a couple more pages to go. You are able to find your uniqueness within yourself because you bring your experiences, okay, to higher learning. Even if it's not as a scientist, you know what I'm saying? There's other fields where you still are bringing your experiences to the field of study. Okay. And religion and spirituality, everybody has their own takeaway. Everyone is an individual. They express their own form of spirituality, what they see, what they hear, what they feel differently. Okay. This is why your ancestors and your spiritual guides, your higher self, are like, they want you to break free from these systems, from these structures, you guys. Okay. Hopefully this is all making sense, right? Because I'm comparing to what's seen and also what's not seen out here, right? So the medical field, everyone responds differently for medication, like we were saying before, right? This is why these structures are meant to be broken. There's so much, they're like danger within these structures, okay? But they want everyone to, not everyone, they want the best, the fittest, right? To fit, just snuggle up inside of these structures. And this is where the inequalities come from. All right. This is why there's so many compounds in medicine, right? This is why so many people have so many different takeaways in religion and spirituality, right? Because it is really, truly, uniquely divined from your ancestors and your spiritual guides to find the love within you. Okay. The love within you, not being on a pee pad where they're keeping the majority of people out here on a pee pad. Y'all make sure y'all like the video if y'all here. Okay. The title of this video is called You Are Who You're Looking For. You are who you are looking for. And it stemmed from a conversation that I had with an old friend that she's looking for true love. And we're still talking about the true love that is within. But see, they have in place, you know, they always want to give me the example, you know, when you were young, you always want to know, why are we here? Why are we here in life? Why are we here? Like, I think I probably asked my parents, like, why am I here? What is the purpose of life? Why am I here? What is this all about? You know what I'm saying? You're telling me there ain't no Santa Claus, ain't no leprechaun or any of that shit. So what is the purpose, right, of us being here? So society has built our purpose, has created our purpose right in front of our eyes with social structures, right? And they're letting us know this is your purpose, to work within these social structures. This is where you need to be at. But your ancestors, your spiritual guides want you to break free from these social structures and to find you within, out, or both of these social structures, right? Because they are designed to change, okay, over time, because you are always an evolved individual. You are here to evolve. How are you here to evolve? Some people call them lessons. Some people call them life experiences. But this is how we evolve. I don't like to call them lessons. I like to call them evolve. Life experience, we are evolving, meaning we are stairway to heaven, stairway to heaven, step by step, step by step. I want you to know. Okay, to evolve to the stairways to heaven. So, right on to the next subject. I wrote that we are constantly evolving, and you are the true love of self at each stairway to heaven. At each stairway to heaven. From the lowest to the mid to the highest point, right? It is your true operation of yourself, right? That is evolving. Okay, this is why there's no judgment. This is why there's no competition when you are evolving, right? So one thing I didn't talk about, y'all, that I didn't put as a social structure. Let me turn this down. It's cold. It's your job, work, and career. That's important, right? Your job, work, and career. There are all three different formulations there. Job, work, career. I'm gonna have to write that down and talk about that another time, because those are all three different things, right? But for right now, y'all, like the video. Check out my website, realityimbalance.com. Yes, baby. So on my website, we have a couple freebies. The Holistic Health for Smarty Pants that talks about other avenues of holistic health. All right. And then also I have a couple books on there as well. I have a sleuth of blogs as well from that dates back to 2017 on my website. So go ahead and type in the search bar things that you are interested in on realityimbalance.com. Okay. Send me a message on there as well. Okay. Sub up this channel as well. Like the channel as well, y'all. So, but listen, job, work, career. This is another structure that I didn't talk about earlier, right? We have the family, we have the medical field, we have religion, we had all that shit, right? But your job, work, career is another social structure. Another social structure. But I think it is the most important social structure. What you do for work. What is your job in that work? And your purpose is your career. Now that is the top of the pyramid of who you are. That is where the majority, outside of kids and children, that is where the majority of your energy is coming from, that job, that work, that career. That is where your energetic reciprocity, influence is coming from and where it's stemming from, y'all. So I wrote that your job, work, and career is where your purpose in life stems from. This is where your true purpose is, where your true energy is being siphoned to. Okay? Is it reciprocal? Is it reciprocal in your job, work, career? Is it reciprocal? Because you can even be making a lot of money or no money, but the energy is not reciprocal. Like they're siphoning the energy from you. They're stealing all your energy. They're taking all your divine essence unless you are working in your purpose, in your job, work, career. Right. So if you feel like, because I've done this so many times in the healthcare field and over it, where you feel like this is why most of those people get burnt out, right? You give 100% into these fields, right? 100%. Sometimes go over and beyond. Why? I don't know. Because people looking at you like, what you doing all this for? And the job, work, career does not reciprocate whatsoever. Doesn't reciprocate your energy. It happened to me to the point where I was, a while ago, fired, right, for helping too much, helping too many people. Where they let me go, I worked there for 9 years. And then when I jumped into another healthcare job, so I'm still giving my energy away just like free fucking money. And it was still not reciprocal, right? Their energy from the job. They will use you up, your energy. They will use you in these jobs, okay? Use you completely up. So when it started to dissolve, the healthcare gang out of my life, I just let it dissolve. I needed it to dissolve. I wanted it to dissolve. I didn't question it. I was like, yes, we're out of here. Out. Because they will keep you there. No matter how many other fields of study I even applied for. It was just that healthcare that was like a bind, like a rope necktie that took the longest to dissolve out of my life. That's because I put too much energy into that one area. Way too much energy. So if you start to see that, you're pulling back, they are pulling back, allow it to dissolve, allow for your purpose to amp up just that much more, and for your ancestors and your spiritual guides to take over. Put your trust within you, which your DNA is the influence of your ancestors, your spiritual guides, and your cheerleaders anyway, right? Some people are like, let go and let God. Well, you are God. You are the goddess, okay? Your ancestors are operating through you because you have the breath of life right now. All right. They have strength in the spirits because you have strength in the spirit. But the whole thing is you'll continue to loop and loop and loop, loop. Okay. By feeling like you need to hurry up and do something. What is it called? Some kind of mode, like, I don't know why they're like sacrifice mode, but I don't think that's the right word. Where you feel like you have to like replace one survival mode for another survival mode. You sit back, you continue to work on your day-to-day purpose, and you allow for the spiritual gang, your ancestors, spiritual guides, cheerleaders that are operating from within, okay, to take over. This is why that is so important. I had to talk about it a lot, that your purpose, your career, your job, your work is tied into your purpose. It's tied into your purpose. And a lot of people operate in fear. Okay. Well, what am I going to do? This is why you should work on your purpose now, today, not yesterday. I'm not going to be like one of those people, this is why you should have been doing this a long time ago, because you know what I'm saying, I know people like that. That's why you should have been doing this a long time ago. No, the operation and the key is now to work on your purpose in your career. Okay, now, not later, now. Okay, today. The new moon in Gemini is tomorrow. So y'all, listen, the love that you're looking for, okay, it's not in a relationship, it's a relationship with yourself. Okay, then other things will start opening up for you. You know what I'm saying? Like career opportunities, like relationships that you are wanting to be in that are reciprocal, but it is you. It is yourself. It is I, me, myself, and I that you're looking for. You are the true love. It is you, right? Like I said, we have the social engineering and the microwave out here through all of these social structures, right? Even family is a social structure. Know that family is a social structure that will always change and be formulated, okay, and defined by who's ever in charge. Okay, who's ever in charge of the systems, the policies, who's writing these laws, right? They is who are defining these, what a family is, what it look like, and what it's supposed to be. When it's truly you. And it starts with you. Be the family within your own self first. And then you actually have something to give out here in the external. Okay, people want to have families and have baby to feel like, oh, I'm in love, or to be in love, and then you end up with a demon child or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Or you end up in a really, really bad failed ass relationship because truly you were looking for yourself. You were looking in the mirror, you're looking for yourself, but they social engineered what a family is and how you're supposed to feel at a certain time in life, okay, to have a family. Okay, I'm not going to say it's not natural, but families is a social engineering agenda. Yes, indeed. Not a lot of people should even be having kids, honestly. Also, y'all, like the stream, like the stream. If you're watching on the playback, thank y'all for liking. Y'all, like, honestly, I found that family is the biggest way to evolve, or where you find your life lessons from, is within the structure of family. This is how your ancestors and spiritual guides are going to operate, through the family, right? Through those close-knit connections, okay? This is how you will truly begin your involvement, is through the operation of your family, through your guardians, through your parents, okay? Through the foster care system, okay? From the adoption agency, okay? Because there's more than one way to have a family and to be a family. But from those deeper insights in your early childhood development, let me read this. So, okay. So whatever disrespect, abuse, or generosity that you found, had, received as a child, will be that same formulation that you experience, see, and thrive for as an adult. If there is abuse, neglect, okay, or generosity in your early childhood development, those are the relationships that you form and that you build as an adult. Like the stream, like the stream. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Okay, now that's another form of fashion of psychology, but all you got to do is just look around within yourself. People get in relationships with people that are abusive because it's this what do they call it? Stockholm syndrome. That, or it's just an unconscious behavior. Sorry, y'all, we just came back. So that's thing that you experience as a child, because many children experience generosity. Many children receive love at the highest ability, okay? And they're going to receive it as well in their adulthood. Not to judge, because you can always transmute these things as well, all right? So this is why I believe and to know and can see and observe that our family, the structure, is where our biggest lessons come from, right? This is where our emotions are emitted the most. And this is why the ancestors, spiritual guides, you know what I'm saying, the cheerleaders operate through that unit the most, for you to find and to discover the love of yourself, the love of the self, right? This is why that is the biggest, most hugest life lessons for many people, because of all the emotions that are attached to family. I love family. I mean, whatever. I don't know if I like people in general. I'm a Gemini. Hello. I like people in general. I like to socialize. Okay. I like to communicate. All right. Okay. So they can be your biggest ops, your family, or they can be your biggest cheerleaders, your family, or they can be both, or they can be nothing. Okay. So, but what I like to do is to see, you know, the so-called negative spectrum, the ops of the family, as this force for you to operate at your highest ability, for you to operate from the highest being of yourself, is through your family. This is where you're going to evolve from the most. Okay. This is where you're going to find the transmutation the most for your involvement. It's through the family structure. Okay. Is there anything else that I write? Exactly. So they want you, when I say they, I'm talking about those who are operating through you, those who want to see the best for you, right? The ancestors you never met, the ancestors you have met, the ancestors you visit at the gravesite, the ancestors you don't visit at the gravesite, right? Your cheerleaders, your angels, those in the spiritual realm, okay? They know this is how you break the code. This is how you code switch, okay? This is how you really evolve, because the family are the first experiences of a relationship. They're the first experience of the relationship. Your family, you're born into a family, a structure, remember? They are the first operation of how and who you're going to be in relationships with, okay? This is why this is like a big force for you to evolve through, right? No matter what. But I've met a few who had lots of love and generosity. You can always tell when you talk to them. But there's many people who are still suffering from their childhood, early development, based on the family structure, y'all. And this is where your ancestors, your spiritual guides, want you to evolve from the most. I keep saying, like Superman shooting up in the sky, like with his fist going up, shooting up in the sky. When I hear that, they want us to continue and to know this is where the evolvement come from. This is where your life lessons stem from, because this is like working from the lowest points of yourself, right? Where your root chakra and your sacral chakra, you know what I'm saying? All that jazz is formulated. Those energy systems are formulated when you are a child, right? And if they continue to be broken and imbalanced, and those are the relationships that we continue to loop right back into as an adult. This is where they speak to you the most for to evaluate who you are, to transmute And through your transmute of that early stages of your life is how you are able to code switch. This is where, you have the operation to, if you want children to have children, to actually be there and to see and foresee and have foresight for your children, right? Instead of sticking them somewhere on a school bus or sticking them somewhere at a child daycare center or not even paying attention to them at all, right? So y'all, it is you ultimately 100,000,000% that you're looking for in any and all these social structures, okay? All of these social structures, work, job, and career, it is you, right? This is where your purpose is coming from. In schools and education, it is you. You are studying yourself. I don't care if it's in primary, okay? I don't care if it's higher learning. It is ultimately you that you are studying, the things that are going to bridge you towards your purpose, all right? Church, spirituality, it is you that you are looking for, not anything outside of that. It is you, because you're all going to have a unique experience on how to express your spirituality. Therefore, it is you. Why you think there's so many different books, right? The Bible, okay, so many different names. Some have been taken out, some have been removed, right? Because these are all expressions of individuals, which really are just energies anyhow, you know what I'm saying? So, medical field, okay, this is a big one. This is a big one. It is truly you that you're searching for in the medical healthcare field. It is really truly you that will heal thyself in the medical field. Now, there are people who need some of that medicine because they already have it in their mind that they need it and they have to take it, okay? I've met many, and that's okay. I'm not judging you. If you feel like you need to take this, then you need to take it. You need to take that, then you need to take that. Okay? But there are so many other people who know that this is not them. It's making them sick. It's making their hair fall out. It's making them die. All right. So this is why, you know what I'm saying, the whole theme of heal thyself is still very much popular, but it comes from a mindset, a mind frame, right? You're working from the inside out in the medical field. Okay. And it starts by your environment and the things that you eat, honestly. Some people don't want to put down the red meat. Some people don't want to say no to the second hot dog. And doesn't matter what you look like. You could be small, frail looking, or big. You can still be unhealthy on any level. If you look small or not, it's not about what you look like when you're unhealthy. It doesn't. You have to know that. I was talking to a Vietnamese man the other day. Okay? You know, Vietnamese, when you look at them, you think that they all eat healthy. Baby, not in this United States of America. Vietnamese. Yeah, they may look like they're healthy because they're not big or large, whatever, which is such a stigma to say that large and big people are unhealthy. That is not even the case, baby. They're more healthy than some of these skinny people out here. But listen. So he went over there in Vietnam. He went over to Vietnam and started to not feel well, got his blood work done, and he's like 4 times high on a cholesterol level, triglycerides, I don't know, 1,000 or whatever the number is. It's supposed to be 500. He was at 1,000, baby, on his blood test. Okay, his liver was almost at stage 3. Neurosis, you know what I'm saying? He had a hole in his gut. He has so many different things that was going on with him that you can't tell by looking at him. And we know why, because most of the food here is processed. We're eating so much processed food, and you want to laugh at somebody when they tell you to heal thyself, that it starts within from the food that you eat. That's crazy. It is coming from the food that you eat. But eat your red meat, though. You know what I'm saying? Eat your hot dogs. Go right ahead. I'm being sarcastic as hell. So, this is why heal thyself will always be necessary, but it starts with the mind frame. Okay, it's really a disciplined practice. You have to really see, don't wait until you're sick to change your diet. Don't wait until you're sick. Don't wait to get your blood work done. Now you got to pay X amount of money. Now you got to take these pills forever because your cholesterol level is 3 times higher than normal and you're only 30. Where they do that at? He was about to have a stroke. Anyway, sorry, I'm passionate about food and health and wellness, especially about what we put in our mouth, because it definitely gives us the energy, okay, and the survival that we need, right? So we have to pay more attention. Yeah, he was drinking Coca-Cola. He said only 2 cans of Coca-Cola. Maybe I know people who would drink cases of Coca-Cola a day, but he only drank 2, according to him anyway. Coca-Cola's a day, but everything else was processed. Red meat, steak, red meat, steak. I'm telling y'all, it's because somebody looks small and skinny does not mean that they are healthy. Just because someone has more body mass does not mean that they are unhealthy. That is it's just wrong. It's wrong and it's incorrect. That's how we're social engineered to perceive the mind eye. Oh, they're big. Oh, they're fat. They need to lose weight. Baby, they're probably more healthy than you are. Someone's size does not determine their health. It doesn't. It's that blood work. Okay. Listen, y'all. So within the medical field, like we were just talking about, you're looking for you. Heal thyself. It starts with the mindset. Okay. And your family, when people say that they're looking for their truest, their best love, my true love, you're looking for yourself. Find it within first. And then everything else will follow. But the only true love is the love that you're going to have for yourself, because you're always constantly evolving. Always evolving. So your true love can be somebody else today, tomorrow, the next day. You know what I'm saying? Next year is going to be another fashion of the person, but you are evolving continuously. Right? I don't know why they want to talk about, like, even in prison, right? Even in prison, which is, they're like atrocious, which is the most atrocious structure in society of them all, right? It is you that you're looking for, even within the prison system. Okay. If you're in a general pop, if you are in maximum security, if you're in solitude confinement, you have to think about these words and their languages that they attach to these fields, right? But the ancestors are like, it is still you that you're looking for within those fashions or fields, right? I really can't speak on that. I can only theorize, like, on these words, okay? Like, solitary confinement. Who else are you confined with when you're in You mean to tell me that is the ultimate being within is in solitary confinement? Maximum security. That means they have eyes on them all the time. Gen pop. Baby, that's almost like being out here in these streets. Okay, dangerous. But the absolute one piece of that is being in solitary confinement is where the majority of people need to be at anyway to discover themselves. Okay, it's not within a social structure. You're going to either work in, out of these structures, okay, or all of the above. Either way, it is you that you're looking for. Right? It's 222. 0222. And if y'all been watching my Words of Power affirmation shorts, you know that number 2s are so popular right now. That's why someone told me to look, and it's 222. Twos are popular right now, okay? So let's think of you as the I am, and the duality is the structures. And within all, it is you that you are searching for. It is you. It is you. So I think I talked enough. I hope that it all makes sense. Leave me a comment. Let me know, if I should expand any more on any social structure, because I love to talk about social structure. And we were talking about all kinds of shit, me and my friend, even gender, because she didn't even know like the difference between sex and gender. But that's a whole other different topic. Right? That they want to social engineer. But I'll talk to y'all soon. I'm about to go in here and get some work done on a Saturday in this AC, y'all. To get on my computer. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. Check me out on realityimbalance.com. My name is Shawnee Janelle, and I'm here to redefine reality. Be well, balance and peace. Peace. Bye, y'all.